What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I have my 2018 Dodge Ram 3500, and today we're going to be installing this new dual steering stabilizer kit from BDS with the Fox shocks. This will fit the, I think it's 13 and up, Ram 2500 and 3500. So we'll get this old one off here today, and I'll show you how to put this new one on. One of the upgrades we're going to be doing, and of course, if you see here, we have the new amp power steps that will be coming in very soon. I'm waiting on some hardware brackets to mount this to the back of the body panel there. And let's get started on this removal of the stock steering stabilizer, which you can see is there. And of course, all this stuff looks fairly new. And we'll get started on it. I'm going to start by taking off this left side where the steering stabilizer is mounted to the tie rod bar. So it is at 18 millimeter on top and bottom. Zip those off. Just like so. And you will reuse these bolts, so we'll keep these separate. I keep everything organized so I know where everything is. And then we have one back here in the back, which is kind of hard to tell, but it's on the other side of the steering stabilizer. So we'll take that one out. Like so, and your steering stabilizer should come right out. So that's basically step one. Move this bracket out, and we'll start on the other side. All right, we're going to replace this stock bracket with the 3 holes with the one that comes in the kit. It's got 2 holes and one for your shock to mount to. So we'll use the existing bolts that came off the original one. Of course, these are the 18 millimeter heads. And use the stock nuts that came on it. And we'll tighten those back down. All right, next off, we're going to take the center bracket off, which there's 1, 2 on the bottom, which there's these 2 right here, 13 millimeter. Take this center brace off, and we'll have another one put back in its place. Try to get this camera set up where you can see. That's what the stock brace looks like. This right here, which held the other end of the steering stabilizer. So now we have another bar, which there's a little bit of rust here. I'm gonna get some primer and just spray on that to keep it from rusting further. Let me grab that out of the cabinet. So I just grabbed some Duplicolor Rust Fix. This stuff goes on clear, but eliminates rust. So we'll just shoot this little area right here. Keep it from rusting. This truck only has 5,000 miles on it, so I don't want it to get worse over time out in the weather. So stuff right there should take care of that, which this new bracket's gonna hide most of that. As if you couldn't see it before, laying on the ground here, and grab the bracket. This is your new bracket. So it's gonna move everything out further, and it's gonna be able to mount 2 stabilizers on it. So we'll get this in position here, like so. Alrighty, so you got the bracket up here. The 2 holes on the left here should line up, and this bracket will come up over the tie rod bar. You use the factory bolts that came with the one you took out, like so. Well, you get them started. This track bar is kind of in the way, so you gotta finagle around it, which I've upgraded my track bar when I leveled my truck. And I'm not left-handed, so it makes it a little bit difficult. All right, you get the bracket in position the right way. You'll take the existing bolts that came out, and you'll line them up, get them all started. The 2 holes on the left will line up with the stock area where the stock bracket went. And of course, you'll put the ones on the bottom that you took out as well. Usually put them all in hand tight first to make sure they're all going to start. So you have to move anything around like so. Make sure they're going to spin in there freely. I'm going to grab a ratchet to start them, make sure I don't cross thread them, because that would be bad. So let me get a ratchet or a wrench. Luckily the toolbox is close by, so they spin pretty freely. So they should go right up in there pretty good. Just like so. Make sure you get a couple turns on them. Keep them from stripping. And we have one more bracket that goes on the back side that wraps around the axle. So it's this bracket right here. It's going to go on the back side of the last 2 holes. And it's got 2 washers, 1 for each side. Just like a long carriage bolt, I guess. Well, it's not a carriage bolt, it has ends on it, but put this on the back side of the axle here. I'll leave the washer on one side. I'll run it through. Put the washer on the back side. And then the nut. Like so, we'll get it started so I can line the top one up and do the same thing. Of course, right now we just want to get everything started and hand tight. Make sure we get everything lined up straight. Just like so. And then we will tighten those down. Let me give you a look here. There's the top 2. This is where the long bolts go through. Of course, on this side also. Here. So they go through, and there's the bracket here on the back side. And we'll tighten all that down once we get it all straight. And we'll go from there. We'll tighten up these 13 millimeters. Still in reverse. So we'll start on the bottom. I'm not going to tighten them all the way up yet. I want everything to stay lined up here. So we'll do that. We'll change out the socket here for the 18 millimeter. Put that back in the gun. And we'll grab our 18 for the back side here. Well, might have to swap because my gun won't get past this tie rod. Alrighty, so we'll give you a shot from the back side here. So this is that bracket going around the axle. So I'm just trying to get it straight, see how much movement there is in here. So we'll take our 3/4 wrench. I'm gonna grab my impact gun, it's a little bit smaller. It's a little tight under here, as you can tell. This I'll switch if I can get it on the top here. And then on this side. So make sure that's pretty straight, which it appears to be. And we'll tighten this down. Like that. And of course I'll go over all these at the end and make sure everything's taut. And that's what it looks like on the back side here. So we'll bring it around this way. Got it all buttoned up like so. And then we'll go to the right side. So you can see we've got the left side, the center, and then these are our shocks and our center bracket that's going to hold them together. It's going to tie it to this middle brace here. So this one goes on the right side of this arm here on the tie rod bar. It's a little bit narrower, so these U-bolts connect like so. And we'll put it there and measure it where it's the same as the other side. So we'll take these U-bolts off. I got this kit from Ryan Mayer, if you don't follow him, 6'7" Lime. Of course. He has the green rim also. He upgraded his kit to the bigger kit since he went with a lot larger lift. So I got this off of him. You can usually score some pretty good deals buying used parts that are fairly new. I don't think these have many miles on it, so save you some money. If you can find something that somebody's trading in on a lot or wanting to sell, you don't always have to buy it new. So like this kit, I think it's like a little over 500 bucks, say 550, and I bought it from him for a lot less. And it's, you know, if you're taking something off, it's just gonna sit in your garage. So we'll get these started. Thankfully he left every nut and bolt on what they came off of, so it's really pretty simple. Like, I don't have any directions, so it's pretty simple to put this back together. I mean, it only really goes one way. Alright, so we're actually gonna put the center one on first. So it's kind of like so. It's got the BDS. The shock goes in between like so. And of course we have our bolt and washer. Let's get it lined up like so. And we have our washer on the bottom. And of course I don't have this where it needs to go yet. I'll get a measurement because I don't have the instructions of where it needs to be. I'm gonna look them up online and get the measurement. So we'll get that started. And I can come over here and get this next shock started. Of course, it's in a fixed position since that lined up. Do the same thing here. Get our nut started. And like I said, I'm just putting all this loosely together. And we're going to I don't think I can push it. Just like so. A little bit of manhandling it. So we know that's where the left side goes. Is it gonna go, you know, one spot. So then we'll get a measurement and we will get this right side buttoned up, but you can kind of get a look of how it goes. We'll get this tightened up here. Alrighty, so we got a measurement from this center of the shock mount to the other end is 19 3/4. So we're going to do the same for this side, since that's a factory mounting, the new bracket. So we'll get this one lined up here. And we'll get it tightened up here. We'll move these U-bolts. Alright, so you see the top of that bracket goes to the top of the shock, and I've got this one on the bottom. So I'm gonna reverse the U-bolts on this. Get them flipped around the right way where the shock mount is on the top. That's why I didn't want to tighten all this stuff down, because I wasn't exactly sure how it went. But when you look over and see the other one is on top, you know that you got something wrong. So I'll take these U-bolts back off, flip it around to where the U-bolts are on the bottom of the tie rod bar. And we'll start this slide over. So we're gonna flip it to the, so I usually have that on the bottom and it needs to come out. So this channel right here sits on the bar, and when you tighten it down, it's going to squeeze it down on the bar with some tension. So I might need to take a hammer to kind of help start that, because I don't think these U-bolts are going to be long enough. So we shall see. Well, we can get one started at least. So we'll put this like so. We'll get that lined up, and we'll get that parallel to the bottom. That's a little tricky. Just like so. It's going to be really tight to get on both start. And I think we can get the back one on. Luckily these washers have been used before, so they're kind of pushed down. So I'll tighten these down just a hair. Just get it started, and then I'm gonna remeasure. stomach is not the best idea for this. We'll get that front one started. I can put the nut and washer on the other side and get a measurement to see where we're at. Looks like it's still where it needs to be. Just like that, and we will put our shock bolt back in. First a little pushing. Get some levers to push. As you can tell, we're close. Just like so. And the shock should put some pressure where it'll come back and hold itself. Just like so. I'm gonna put some Loctite on the ends of these threads so they don't back out. And we will go back and retighten everything just like that. Got the Loctite. We'll put some on these threads. Alrighty guys, so just got everything Loctited up, tightened back up. Just gonna give you a little look of it under here. And we'll start this thing up and put it in, get it driving for you so you can see how these work. Video inside here. It's nice and kind of tight. I think it'll do very well. We'll get this thing parked back where it goes. Alright guys, that's going to do it today. I'll show you I got all the stock suspension here, all switched out now with the shocks. Those are the brackets that held the stock steering stabilizer on. That's the only part you'll have left over. And that's pretty much it for today's video. Of course, we're going to have these running boards, power amp steps are going on here soon. And just show you a little bit about the dual steering stabilizer kit. It's a little warm today, as you can see I'm sweating. It's almost a new year. It's a couple days after Christmas and it's 75 degrees here in East Tennessee, so perfect day to do this. I'd rather do this now instead of doing it when it's 20 degrees outside and freezing, especially with the garage open. So if you like this video, subscribe, like down below, send me a comment, let me know. I know that these trucks are a little bit different than the 2012 and 13. I know that these fit 13 to 18, and they probably fit the 19 also, the Classic. So if you have any questions, just shoot me a message. And I appreciate you watching this video, and we'll give you another one up here soon with the amp power steps and a couple more gifts I got for Christmas, and we'll be installing those. So take care. Thanks for watching.